Hey, it's the blended borderline. Thanks for coming to get mixed up. Or mixed in. We'll go with mixed in because mixed up sounds like I'm trying to give you misinformation. Not the case. If you like this video, I just want to remind you, or if you find any value, or you just want to support me, or whatever the mood is, please hit that like button. Please follow me or subscribe. I think it's follow. I forgot the verbiage. And let's hang out sometimes. Hit that bell if you want to get notified every time I upload. I'm trying to be more consistent and, yeah, a better friend. So what this video is going to be about is in response to ClusterB Milkshake's video about like why you don't want to wait for being hoovered, or why you want to be hoovered. And this struck a chord, even though she had already done a video about not waiting for that hoover. I already knew this business, right? I already know the real deal. But I also know that I love a good fantasy. As a borderline, there's just nothing greater than some magical thinking, some limerence, and with just a dash of self-deprecation and hate. And that's basically where I was. I was living in hope. My motto, which I have tattooed on my knuckles for crying out loud, is live more, hope less. Because hope keeps me stuck. Keeps us stuck in situations and just doing nothing. I mean, like a blob waiting to be unblobified by something else, because that's hope. I'm hoping it gets better. No, I gotta make that shit better. I gotta build this better. I gotta be better, you know? But it'd be so much easier to just hope. And I've spent too much of my life doing that. It also is a play on the words hopeless, because I've felt hopeless before. And sometimes I still do. But my brain and me argue. It's like we're at war sometimes, but that's okay. It's worth it to become a whole human being. Anyhoozle, so why I wanted to be hoovered, and low-key I did. I was really just holding out on that hope that his level of unhappiness would become such that, he would want me back. Or he would, like, the idea that he was just biding his time and, squirreling away money, kind of like he did when he was with me, for his escape from her to come back to me. Right. Why would I want that? She can have that life, that uncertainty, that fake love. Regardless if he loved me at one time. Eventually it became fake, and I don't need that. Everything I said I didn't want to be with somebody, I was with him. And everything I said I wouldn't tolerate in a relationship, I tolerated with him. And I deserve to have boundaries. And my boundless and borderless as a borderline empathy and understanding is a death sentence. Like a very slow, emotional death. I don't want to give my authenticity away anymore. I don't care how much it hurts right now. I mean, I care, but I'm going to hold on no longer to that fantasy that he would come back to me and we would prove the world wrong and be the best ClusterB fucking relationship to ever see, the Great Lakes of Minnesota. No. I'm going to hold on to the belief, the knowledge, the knowing that I can only be better. I can only be better, be more authentic, be happy without him. And whether it's by myself or at some point I find some other human to intertwine with and play little games with. Yeah, it's not going to be him. Because I deserve better, and he doesn't. He doesn't deserve me. I was not perfect. I definitely vacillated between idealization and devaluation, because that is the flow of the borderline. And that push-pull repetition compulsion is strong. And it is something that I will have to contend with. And I want a partner who will contend with it without reacting in such a way that it's impossible to not become toxic. You can't combat crazy talk with logic and like growth. I can't. Maybe some awesome people, maybe like ClusterB. She probably was healing away even in a toxic situation. Not me. I will just slide on back into that sweet, sweet, like slumber of autopilot and just react instead of respond. And that's not what I want to do. I want to be intentional as much as possible. Intentional, authentic, honest, loyal. It's not that hard. I'm not waiting to be hoovered. I don't want to be hoovered. I don't have him blocked. I don't need him blocked. I care about him. I want him to be happy. I just know he's not. And I know he never probably will be, because he's empty. He accused me of being empty. He accused me of everything that he is, even with his own admission. And although it has been hard and will continue to be hard to grieve the loss of somebody still around, thank you. Because I get it now. I told him he was the best, and I meant the best narcissist I had been with. They are a bit of a guilty pleasure. Because who doesn't love to harm themselves through other people? Oh yeah. Normal people. Not that I ever want to be normal, but, not less disordered people, maybe. But I'm not waiting to be hoovered. I'm not counting the days since I've contacted him. I'm not dreaming of his return, showing me he's everything that he said he would be and that I thought he was. I am letting go of the image that I've projected onto him. When I miss him, I don't miss him. I miss this idealized image of him. The one that actually could provide me with the things I need as far as love and relationships and the things I deserved. He, in my mind, is, although imperfect, actually wanting to grow and change and self-reflect and be authentic as much as possible. Like he claimed. That's not him. And I will always love him as a person, especially as someone who has struggled and continues to struggle. But I don't need to accept that in my life. I don't need to fix people. I am not here to heal everybody in that way. I can be loved. I'm not too much. And if you treat me well, I am freaking amazing. So if anyone's looking for like a housewife, I'm so down for that. I will cook, I will clean, I will take care of your kids because I don't got kids. I kind of got off track, as per usual. Part of the reason that I haven't really put out a lot of videos, because I do fight with myself. But back to the reaction. Go watch that video. I'll link it in the bio. And just know that as a borderline, it's the fantasy that I had is what I was holding on to. 100%. That. And because then I'm special. Just like if I earned his love, you know, I'm good enough. I'm worthy. Because it was recreating that childhood wound with my mother. And I have an underlying like desire or thought or belief or something that I need a function. I have to have a function in order to be worthy of anything. And I often have chosen to be with people that are emotionally unavailable, broken, such as myself. Well, for one, broken people are going to tolerate me and not push me as far, usually, to get better. That was in the past. Not wanting to get pushed. I still like broken people because they're interesting. They're more interesting. They have wonderful stories. The realness is really real. The emotions can be really raw. And it's just really interesting from a observing, I don't know, standpoint. Like I kind of feel like I am studying people all the time because I'm a freaking robot. I'm even studying myself. But I am enough without all that. And although I still want to help people, that's why I have this channel. And I know that is like my purpose in life. I want you to remember who you are. And accept the power that you have in your life. You're beautiful. I love you. Once again, off track. Yes. But I don't need to be Captain Save-A-Ho. Because that's kind of the role too. I tend to do that with females and then also relationships. And I want to actually try to have intimacy with people. I want to, you know, surpass my borderline circuitry and create actual intimacy or not run from it as much as possible. And I can't be emotionally, I mean, what better way to be emotionally unavailable than picking unavailable people? Because then I can feel bad. And even though I didn't feel victimized, I don't feel like a victim. I don't take that role, but I did in the past. And there's still that element of I just like to prove that I'm a piece of shit. Like if I feel like a piece of shit, but if I get you to treat me like one, thus, you know, confirming that I'm a piece of shit. Because part of the issue with the intimacy is if you're telling me that I'm lovable, and the bad object, as Sam Vaknin calls it, inside my head, which has been there as long as I can remember pretty much, tells me I'm not lovable, the cognitive dissonance is unbearable. So how do I relieve that? By getting rid of the thing I feel like I can get rid of, and that would be the person. But of course then, I'm like, no, come back. Blah, blah, blah. So yeah. And that's why I tend to be very drawn to narcissists. Because they kind of, or just people that are emotionally unavailable or jerks in general, I guess. But people that wouldn't provide actual connection or a sustained intimacy, you know, did the future faking, all that jiggity jazz, because that denial fed that need that I felt like I had. And it recreated that mother wound. And I told my ex that he came into my life to help me reintegrate my darkness, because that's a whole nother story that I'll get into in a different video. He did exactly what I knew he was there to do. I just wanted more. And I expected more. Even without being promised more. And it was fun. But mostly painful. Much like drug addiction has been. All of those things that only, you know, serve that short-term, you know, relief of something instead of a long-term gain tend to be pretty painful. But I guess that's a long-term gain. Okay. Gain? Yes. But yeah. Who am I if I'm not special? If I don't gain it, anyway, I wanted him to hoover me back because I wanted this fantasy. Because I've always just felt like I should be so important to the world. I guess that's a little narcissism in me. Grandiosity is a borderline thing as well. Not a criteria, but apparently common. And I wanted to heal myself by being able to prove that I was so awesome and so wonderful that someone was willing to put forth so much effort just to be better or more healthy, more aware. And I could help them heal while they helped me heal. That is the ultimate dream for me. It has been like, oh, you're broken, I'm broken, but if we're complementarily broken, we can fix each other. Unfortunately, most people that I've dealt with don't actually care to heal. Because I still believe that it will work. It would work if people were committed. I think that's the only way it would work. Really, to be any kind of healthy relationship would be for both people to be working on themselves and supporting one another. That's pretty normal, it seems, or average. I don't know what normal is. But I'm giving up that. Because I will heal on my own with the help of others, because I'm not an island. While I help others, hopefully, or at least give some information and love and be me, without having to worry that somebody's going to accuse me of things that I'm not doing and not contribute to anything. Be pseudo-supportive until it took away time from them. I already don't make sense sometimes. I really need someone who makes slightly more sense, maybe, or is willing to fact check, reality check, and not just believe the shenanigans that go on in our heads. I will tell myself out loud truths to combat the lies I will try to get myself to believe. It's not easy. I don't always succeed. Because I've been operating on a certain level for the majority of my life. So we'll say, just to be generous to my, time healing, I guess. Let's say like 35 years. 30. We'll say 30 years. The better part of 30 years. I have been operating from a certain point in my life. Or in a certain way. Particularly in intimate relationships. Or partner, like, boyfriends and shit. It's not gonna happen overnight. It's that consistent change and effort. That's all I want. If somebody has things that they want to work on, obviously it's going to take time. No one expects perfection. I don't want perfection. It'd be boring right along with being normal. I'm weird. But yeah. So just thank you, ClusterB Milkshake, for that video. I don't know if I did a very good job even responding to it. But I am worth more, and I don't want that darkness. I have my own. That now, thanks to that experience, is no longer seen as a separate entity, and it's no longer hidden in a cage. But I'm making friends with it. Because it really does become a bit easier to deal with when I'm not fighting it as much. Like, actively fighting, and we're compromising. But remember, live more and hope less, my friends. Love you.